get started learning how to do some wrought iron grinding. A lot of times, especially in the Montreal or Quebec City area, but all across Eastern Canada, you're going to find what we call wrought iron. Many railings, many fire escapes used to be, or still are, composed of this because it doesn't burn. So for safety reasons, fire escapes, especially in the city of Montreal, actually by law have to be composed of wrought iron. Wrought iron over time rusts and thus needs to be scraped, sanded, grinded, and then painted with the appropriate rust primer. As you'll see here, rust build up over time, and painted with rust primer before it can be painted. Now, metal typically endures the elements a little bit more challengingly than some of the other substrates like wood over time. So it's important to really get all of this rust away because it's gonna, if you leave any of it behind, it's going to eat back through the paint. So we got to make sure to do some proper grinding before we're able to paint it. Now, safety equipment is obviously very important when you're going to be grinding rust and metal. You want to make sure to have glasses and a mask on so that you're not inhaling any of these materials. So first, I'll put those on in a second. As well, when you're hooking up your electrical cords throughout a project, whether it be for electric sanding or grinding, you want to make sure to connect them like this, and then tie a little knot in it. Because as you're moving around the job site, you don't want that to come unplugged like that. And as you pull your tool around a different area, it comes unplugged. You're going to have to go back in. You're losing time. So I always tie a knot like that, and now I'm making sure that as I move around, it's not going to come undone. Now, this is what we call a grinder. It uses a disc like this to grind away a lot of the rust here. It also uses a different type of brush mechanism, like this one here, for some more intricate objects. So if you have to get into like decorative trims, things like that, you're going to want to use the brush grinder. Now we'll start with the disc grinder here. You don't want to use this on anything except for wrought iron or some galvanized sheet metal if there's rust, but only metal. You use this on wood, you use this on other substrates, you're going to damage and cut up the entire substrate. So be very careful on wood, on substrates, on stucco, on everything. We use our electric sanding equipment. Only on wrought iron and occasionally galvanized metal will we use grinding equipment. So let's get started here. First, I'll put on my mask and goggles. Okay, and we're ready to begin. You also want to make sure that you're not quite in the way of the sparks, because sparks are going to fly as you grind the substrate. Now that we have a lot more metal exposed here, I'm going to keep getting. I'm going to do a little bit more grinding here, and a bit more sanding of some of this stuff off, and then I'm going to be ready to do some spot priming and painting. So we look forward to seeing you then.